Hey everyone, how you doing? It's Henry at Mowers and Blowers. Good afternoon. I promised myself I was gonna kind of take it easy for the new year. Maybe not a video every day, but maybe one every other day. Maybe. Depends on how much stuff I have, you know what I mean? Anyway, today I'm gonna try to remove this part of the bearing that's messed up, and this flange and this collar, the collar that's attached to the what's remaining of the original bearing. The ball bearings are gone. That thing that goes over it, the sealed bearing collar is gone, but it's still stuck on here. While I ordered a new bearing that comes with the collar, right? It has to fit on this shaft. Also, I want to kind of see if I can get this shaft out of here, because I ordered a new flange. This flange over here, the lip is a little worn. So since I bought it, I'd like to try to put it on. But I was afraid to put it on because I was afraid that after I got this spline part here smoothed out and now I can put the coupler on there, I'm worried that if I try to take the shaft out, I'm gonna damage this again and I won't be able to put the collar back on again, you know? So I'm kind of like a little bit in limbo going, should I try it? Should I do it? But it doesn't matter though, because from what I was watching on a couple of videos that I saw on YouTube, is that if you got a new bearing for this, you gotta remove this. You have to remove this, otherwise you can't put the new bearing on, because this is the old bearing, right? So I saw Donnie Boy's video, and he told me to just stick a bolt in there that fits. There are some threads that don't fit, but this one here, I believe it's a half-inch, whatever, right? That's threaded 24 instead of 16, maybe. I'm not sure about the thread count. But anyway, this screws in there kind of loosely, and if you just do it all the way to the bottom where it doesn't go anymore, that's the very bottom, I can kind of hit this. I've sprayed penetrating oil all around that area, the spline area, and so I'm just gonna try to bang it, you know what I mean? With like a sledgehammer. And just slowly bang it out so I can get the shaft out. If I get the shaft out, I'm gonna grind this area of its rust and grime so that I could slip this flange out of here, and then when my new flange comes in the mail, I'll be able to just put it on and basically rebuild this impeller, you know? Because as it is right now, I don't think it would work, because I would need to take this off to put the new bearing on. Alright, so that's what I'm gonna do today. There's also another issue that I want to address, and then maybe you guys can help me. And if you leave your answer or your suggestions in the comments before my parts come, I'll be able to apply those suggestions. So here's one half of the sandwich to the gearbox off of the auger shaft, right? You guys saw in a previous episode, I grinded this clean and all that, and I was able to remove the gearbox gear out of there, right? People call it a worm gear, but honestly I think the worm gear is the thing on the impeller because it looks like a worm or whatever. I ordered a new gear. I just put it on here because I wanted to make sure I put it on the right side, you know what I mean? Because I remember I was banging this down and I could see the bang marks on this side, so I know it's this side, you know, but it could be either way, I'm not sure, but I wanted to be sure. The keyway is here right in the middle with the key in it already, right? And I was having a dickens of a time getting this gear off because these holes here are where the shear pins go in, right? And then over time, right, this kind of mushrooms out a little bit, so you weren't able to get this gear out. So I had to grind it smooth so that it comes out. So that shaft is ready to go. So here's the part of the sandwich, right? This is the coupler that goes onto the impeller shaft with the spline. Here are the two pins that went into the that holds the impeller shaft to the impeller. So I took those out. So now I'm able to bang it. You can't bang it with these pins in, otherwise it'll never come out. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I kind of cleaned this out a little bit. It's not that clean, but I'm gonna clean it up some more. And also, they had silicone here to redo it, whatever. And so, listen, I was wondering about what I put in here. Do I put in here regular grease or oil I just sold this flat head, cylinder head on eBay. Just went to go get it. But I wanted to talk about the lubrication for this gearbox. What kind of grease should I use? So in the videos that I've seen, when they pack this thing full of grease, they use, I think, 00 grease, right? 00 grease, I believe, is really thin grease that's not like number 2, but almost close to number 1, right? And I've seen them just squeeze it almost looks like black oil, you know, thick oil on it, you know, because it's very syrupy, right? So I've got a lot of grease here from my friends over at Lucas Oil. Now, when I see the videos of them putting the grease in there, right, it almost looks like the same consistency as this red and tacky grease. When you do the red and tacky spray grease on here, red and tacky spray grease is the same thing as this one. This red and tacky grease, although it's in a spray container, right, so it's easier to get to places, right? So when you first spray it, it does look like that syrupy stuff that you put in that gearbox, but I believe it hardens up into like that, you know what I mean? Now this is NLGI 2, which is a thicker grease. NLGI is the National Lubrication something or other Institute, whatever. That's the association where they use it for ratings, right? So this is a thicker grease. I have this mining and construction grease, right? This is also NLGI 2. I don't know if I'm ever going to use this because I don't really do any mining, you know? This is hub grease, which is for like trailer bearings and stuff, right? And this is NLGI 1, which is softer, kind of like the 00, you know? So I might just use this hub grease. It says, for use in any situation with encased high-speed bearings. Well, this gearbox is going to be encased, and it has bearings in it, but not on the inside of the case, but rather just gears. So I think that would be more than enough for that. And it's not as thick, so that in the wintertime it'll get like, you know, solid up, you know what I mean? Like, you know, hardened. And then you got this white lithium grease that is, you know, very soluble. You know what I mean? Not soluble, but, you know, soft, you know, and not as thick as, let's say, that, you know. But this is also NLGI 2. So out of all of these, that's closest to 00 is the NLGL 1 hub grease. So I think I'm just gonna use that because I don't want to go out and buy 00 grease. And actually, the manuals don't even tell you it's 00 grease. Everybody just says use 00 grease. But I have seen people say put 85W or 90 motor oil in it, you know. But honestly, I think it'll just drip out, you know, because I don't think that's, you know what I'm saying? You need that little stopper to plug the hole, whatever. You can just plug it, whatever. But if it's just motor oil, it might drip out. So I think I'm just gonna put this in. I'm gonna clean up the sandwiches of the gearbox, right? And then when I get the new gear, I'll assemble everything. And when I put the grease in, I'm gonna use this hub grease unless you guys tell me otherwise. I'm not gonna go buy the 00 grease. Just tell me which one of these, out of these, should I use that's best for it. Remember, it's only gonna be spinning when you turn the auger. That's it. It's not like high-speed bearings or anything. You're not taking it on the highway, right? So it's just gonna go like that for most of its life. So to start off, I'm just gonna start banging a little bit and see if I can get this shaft out. As you can see, these two holes here, right? This is where the this is where those pins went, right? And believe it or not, I can actually use channel locks and turn it. Believe it or not. Look. Look at that. It moves. Okay? So we're in decent shape here. We know that this shaft is free from the impeller. It's just this collar, the bearing collar, is still stuck on the shaft. So I'm just, like I said, I don't want to damage this spline area, so that's why I have a bolt in here. So looky here, we're just going to go ahead and just tap it slightly and see if it starts to move.
Shut up, Henry, and go!
Should I go?
Oh, for God's sakes, Henry, go!
All right, I'm going to go now. know you guys hate me, I know it. Oh! What? No way! Oh my God, how easy was that? Awesome! So I got this out. So I can take this out, I can take this flange out, right? And then I could put the new flange in. I won't take this apart until I get the flange, because I know if I just leave it around and a couple of days pass by, I won't remember what the hell I just did. You know what I mean? So I'm just gonna leave it like that. That's awesome. I am stoked. I honestly didn't think that was gonna be so easy. You know what I mean? I did use penetrating oil for my friends over at Lucas Oil Products. Honestly, not just because they sponsor me, but you guys have seen me use this for like the past 2 years, whatever. Has it ever failed me? Holy cow, I don't know what they put in that stuff. It's just fantastic. So I thought this video was gonna be super long and I was gonna have to whip out a blowtorch or something like that and heat it up and then spray some more of that penetrating oil all over here to get it out. Or like they say in Canada, get it out. But man, oh man, that just slipped right out. Hey, nice. Shout out to Jimmy Justin from Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. Just bought a couple of my, well, I call them OG stickers now. 2 of them. Go follow him on Instagram. Also, shout out to Kurt Amundsen, who sent me $2.38. What's the significance of $2.38, you know? I appreciate the support. Like I said, you guys can donate $1 or $2 to help out the channel. Really appreciate it. Keeps me going with the videos every day. Speaking of whoever also wanted to know, is that Rob Olson from Laconia, New Hampshire. Not only did he buy stickers, but he also donated to the channel. So thank you very much, Rob and Robin Olson. As you guys know from my previous video, I did a review on a doorbell Wi-Fi security surveillance camera for my friend Andy from Jericho. Once we installed it, it looked really nice. However, the space between his fascia and his door sill it just fit the camera. But now he can't close his storm door because it gets in the way. This is what he did today.
Cam that Henry and I installed the other day. I had to put this painter's tape over the camera so that my phone won't be blowing up every second. I used the same tape to mark off the section I wanted to cut off, and then use the Dremel tool to cut away that section, filed it down, and then I touched it up with a little white paint. Now it fits perfectly. Again, thanks to Henry at Mowers and Blowers for hooking me up. I love this unit. I can see everything when somebody's at the door, dropping a package off, so on and so forth. All right, that's it.
Might as well prep the sandwich gearbox sides for when the gear comes and I can put this assembly together. It's got like old silicone gasket encased over here, so I'm just gonna scrape it all out and clean this up a little bit. So as you saw, I was trying to clean this out, and what did I notice? It's got a broken bolt here and here too. So there are 2 things I could try to do. Put some penetrating oil around here, let it soak for a bit, get some really tiny vice grips and try to grip this out and turn it, but If you couldn't get it out before, I doubt vice grips could do it because it has hardly any, you know, leverage and grip, you know. This stud here is even smaller, so it'll be tough to get out here. So I could do a lot of things. I could just like grind this out, cut it so that this is smooth and flush with this too, right? Put the assembly in here, put the grease in there, put silicone around here, gasket maker, and sandwich it up, right? And put the 1, 2, 3 bolts that are good in there that'll hold it. Probably would work, right? And then I could put a couple of self-tappers in here with washers just to make that solid. You know what I mean? That would probably work. Also, look here. There's a hole here. It's for some kind of a plastic or rubber stopper that, you know, you can add grease or oil, whatever it is. But if the grease is thick enough, you're not going to need it. But I think when it moves more and more, right, it becomes hot and warm, and it might ooze out. So I might have to find something to shove in there, you know, and it doesn't look like I can put a screw in there because it looks like it has to be like soft, like rubber or plastic, just to shove it in there like a cork or something, you know. Or I could just cut that and cut that, right? You know, make it flush. And then I could drill a hole in there. But then if I drill a hole in there, this is not meant to go all the way through, you know what I mean? It's meant to be threaded. So I don't think I'm going to do that, you know, because if I make a hole through here and then I'd have to cut this to put another nut on the end. But I think that if I'm able to close it like this, right? I just put some self-tappers through there, that ought to work. What do you guys think? I'm not going to do it yet. What do you guys think I should do? You know, put self-tappers in here or drill it all the way through and put a bolt and nut on the ends. I think this is aluminum, so I can't weld it. Let me test it. Got a magnet here. So is it cast iron or is it aluminum? It's aluminum. Okay, so it's not sticky. So it's cast aluminum. That's what it is. Got the impeller shaft here, and I just want to clean up this worm gear a little bit. Use a wire. So there you go. Put this in my vise that I got from Nate Wagner. Thanks again, Nate. I've used that vise quite a bit. And clean up the worm gear and all the remaining rust on the shaft. That way it's prepped and ready for my new flange when it gets here. And then we'll reassemble this impeller. And hopefully we can get my Yardman 8.5 26 snowblower going again. As you guys know, I got it in pieces. And I'm just trying to put it all together. Was missing a bunch of pieces, probably because they were damaged. And during the time that the guy who I got it from, his friend, took everything apart trying to take it off, he was probably banging on this thing to try to get it off, and that's why he damaged the spline. Well, I fixed the spline, and so now everything should go on the way I think it should go on. So I'm just going to wait for the parts for me to assemble this. I'm getting a flange, a new bearing, a housing that puts this on there, and the gear for the gearbox. That was probably the biggest expense. I think it was like $18 or something like that. It wasn't too bad. I think I'm in it for $45 total. But if $45 can make this Yardman snowblower work and run the way it should, it's well worth it because it's a decent snowblower, you know. 8.5 horsepower Tecumseh Snow King engine, right? 26 wide clearing path. It's pretty good bucket size, right? It's got heated grips, power steering, and it doesn't have electric start. But you guys know I have that push snowblower, right? With a 5 horsepower engine in it. That has a good starter. So if this works out the way I want it, I may try to put that starter on there because, you know, this is definitely a much better snowblower than the push one, you know? So let me know in your comments, fellas, what kind of grease you think I should put in. I'm only going to give you the choices of those 5. I'm not going out and buying 00 grease because I believe the NLGI number 1 is closest to the 00. And I've got so much grease, I need to use one of them, you know what I mean? Again, it's not rocket science, fellas. It's just a gearbox with a gear, you know? Any hub grease really should do, but I wanted to see what your suggestions are. Also, what should I do about the gearbox? Should I grind out the studs and put self-tappers in, or should I drill all the way through? Or should I drill it and try to get it out with easy outs? But sometimes you guys know, you know, honestly, I've had easy outs for a while. I've never had one successful use of it. It's never worked, the easy outs. And this one, remember, it's protruding up, and I don't know how deep it goes other than there. So I think the self-tappers right in there ought to work, with a washer maybe, you know? But let me know what you guys think. This was part 3 of my Yardman 8.5 24 dual stage snowblower fix. I didn't think it would take 3 episodes. It'll probably take 4 or 5 total, you know? But I'm gonna be busy for the next few days. Maybe there'll be a video, maybe there won't be a video. But I've been working on downloading all 500 2GB files from Google Takedown, or Takeout. Google Takeout. It's a service on Google where you can back up all your data files. So in case I ever get hacked, right, and some nut wants to delete all 1,100 of my videos from the past 3 years, right? That's a lot of work I put into it, as you guys know. So I bought an 8 terabyte external hard drive. So right now I'm in the process to give you 10 days to download 495 separate files of 2 gigabytes each, or 4 gigabytes each. So we're talking about a substantial amount. So far, in the past 4 days, I've downloaded about 200 files. I've got about 300 to go. So I don't think I'm gonna make it. As long as I can get the majority of the files in my possession, I'll feel pretty good about it. Right now, I'm gonna go watch a couple of episodes of The Mandalorian. Thanks a lot for joining me on today's episode. We'll see you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers. Here at Mowers and Blowers, we push them into the garage, but they come out driving.
See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.
Hey, if you guys enjoyed the video, remember to give me a like. Also, comment below. Subscribe. Remember, it doesn't cost anything to subscribe. It's free, right? Also, hit that little bell. That way you'll get post notifications whenever there's a new video, and you won't miss out on any of them. Remember to follow my Instagram and Facebook, as well as, if you'd like to donate $1 or $2, paypal.me/mowersandblowers. Really appreciate all the support. Also, to keep the videos coming every day, support the channel. Bye.